Lauren is our marketing director and has helped me along with Kylie and Nick on this amazing SEO presentation that we're giving today. Many of you already know, I started PartySlate about 4 or 5 years ago, and my goal was to create a beautiful platform where people could get inspired and find the best local event professionals. And I actually started the company because I was on the corporate side. I was running a big digital agency called Razorfish. I was planning all these events and couldn't find great inspiration, and I couldn't find the best local professionals, and the wedding blogs out there just weren't helping me, and used a website called Houzz, Houzz, which I'm mildly obsessed with, where I was redesigning a kitchen. And really that set the vision for PartySlate, and started the company about 2 or 3 years after I had the plan. It took me a little while to get the confidence to leave my digital agency job. And here we are 4 years later. So PartySlate is a place where over 10,000 event professionals and venues share their photo portfolios, their videos. And SEO is such a critical part of our strategy. We have over 750,000 photos, again, 11,000 event professionals, thousands of articles, and we want people that are actively planning parties to be able to find us. And so SEO is very important. I really am focused today on content SEO, but I'm going to talk about a lot of different areas of SEO, including technical SEO and also offsite SEO, the 3 main areas. And then we're going to walk through PartySlate's SEO strategy. We're going to give a preview of our SEO-focused projects, which include an enhanced profile page, giving you guys even more SEO power through your profile page. And then at the end, we're going to give you a really simple SEO action plan. And again, like our Instagram and LinkedIn webinars or digital events we did before, we're also going to have a follow-up template to help you put together your SEO strategy. And so if you have questions, please put it in the chat box. And we also have, in addition to Lauren and I, 2 of our SEO experts are going to be moderating. They know even more than I do, are some of the questions that come up. And I hope to get to all of them. If we can't get to them today, I'm happy to jump on a call with you.
And just a reminder, if for some reason you're having trouble with the chat, we found that there's a little bit of a glitch. If you log out really quickly and then log back in, you should be able to send chats through for us to answer for you guys.
Okay, great. So let's get started on the agenda. So to get started, again, SEO is kind of a geeky topic, and a lot of people think, oh, SEO is all about tech. It's actually really a pretty even split between content strategy, offsite link back, so getting people to link back to your content, and then the technical side, which is what I'm going to talk about later. And so Google uses over 900 factors, and no one knows exactly what Google's algorithm is. Otherwise, you'd be a billionaire if you did know what it is. But there are so many experts, and this is a whole discipline around SEO. And so again, the majority of these 900 factors fall within content, offsite, and technical SEO. And so those are the 3 areas that we're going to talk about. And again, just to set context about SEO, it isn't just technical. And so what I want to talk about to start, and now I can't move to start is, what is content SEO? So content strategy and SEO really go hand in hand. And so you can't do one without the other. So for example, you could create an amazing list of keywords that you want to rank for, but if you don't create great content around those keywords, you're not going to be successful with Google. Also, when you create great content, you're more likely to be linked back to from third-party resources and other websites, which would give you higher search authority for SEO. And so great content strategy typically equates to great SEO. There are some specific features today that we're going to talk about, but really, first and foremost, SEO is not about tricking Google. In the old days, when I first started in digital, it was like people would load the page with all these keywords and, oh, there's all these wedding planner words on this page, so that's great content. Google is so sophisticated, they can tell when you're trying to fake it out. And the best strategy for SEO is really incredibly focused, great, valuable content. So how do you create this great content? So content SEO, here are the building blocks. First, you want to create a list of topics that you want to rank for. So if you're an event planner in New York, you might want to think about event planner, wedding planner, party planner. Even if you don't like the word party planner, consumers use the word party planner. So you need to think about what are these keywords linked back to these key topics. And there's 2 platforms that we use to do keyword research, and we're going to send you those links after the webinar: Keyword Finder and Uber Suggest. And you can actually put in words in these platforms, they're free, and actually see the search volume linked back to those words. And one of the key kind of frameworks of keywords is it's very difficult to rank for a word like wedding. There's a billion people writing about weddings, but you could rank for Brooklyn wedding loft rustic venue. Again, I'm making all this up. So the long tail words are really what you want to rank for. So this example here, for example, we have a ton of content and traffic around bar and bat mitzvahs on PartySlate. We have put together every single keyword related to a bar mitzvah celebration, and we rank for many of these on the first page of Google because there isn't a lot of high authority websites that are writing about these type of creative celebrations. And so use these tools to actually create your keywords, and that will really help you with your content SEO strategy. Once you have this list, some companies like PartySlate have hundreds and even thousands of words that we're trying to rank on. Really, for smaller companies, even if you came up with a list of 30 or 50 keywords you want to try to rank on and creating content, again, there's a lot of different variations of those words, and we're going to give you a template on how to get started. But really, you want to think about how do you optimize your current content or create new content around this topic that will help you get higher authority. The key is publishing that content on your website, your blog, your social media channels. I'm going to talk about social signals, and also third-party platforms like PartySlate and others that will help, again, in the eyes of Google, create that you are an authority on this topic, and they should send people that have these specific long-tail keywords to your content.
Julie, for keywords, so is it better to try to rank for a lot of keywords, focus on a few? I know you said whether you have 20, 30, 50, how should you really focus in on which keywords are right for you?
If you have the bandwidth, the more the better. If you don't have the bandwidth, I suggest creating a smaller list of keywords and doing a good job with those keywords, again, long tail keywords, than creating a list of 100 that you just know you're not going to be able to get to. I don't know, Lauren, Lauren, does that make sense? You're on mute. Okay, can you guys still hear me?
There we go. My mute button was
okay.
malfunctioning. But yeah, I think keywords, it's better, just the same way with content. Quality is better over quantity, so I would definitely start there.
Definitely. So again, in your mind, don't come up with 3 keywords. That's not enough. That just implies that it's not long tail. I would suggest 20 variations potentially on, think of the type of event professional you are: venue, planner, caterer, etc. The location that you're in, and it could even be like not just New York, it could be Brooklyn or different kind of neighborhood areas if that's important, or if you're a destination planner, Napa Valley or whatever. And then thinking about either elements of the type of events you do or some other aspect that is, again, more long tail that you can rank on. Okay, so some definitions. When you talk about SEO, there's a lot of geeky terminology. It gets us very excited because we love talking tech, but I just wanted to demystify some of these terms just so you understand what they are. And again, I know usually about 10-15% are expert SEO people, so some of this will be refresher for you, but for others, I hope this is educational. So metadata is a description in the code of your page that actually shows up on your Google search results. So if you Google wedding planner and you see all these results, you'll see a little kind of blurb right underneath the page result. That is metadata, and that helps Google understand the contents of that page. And again, you can't trick out your metadata and put something different that doesn't relate to the actual content on the page. Google will figure that out, again, with those 900 factors that they're looking at. Headline structure is also important. So there's H1, H2, H3 kind of headline tags. and words that you put in those titles. So I know a lot of people focus on that first headline of the page and put a lot of effort there. Don't forget about your H2s and your H3s. They should reinforce with keywords. And again, you don't have to keep using the same keyword over and over again so that the page doesn't flow, but it should be related to the key topic and reinforce, again, helping Google understand what the content of the page is. And then alt text is what's almost on the back side of the image. It's text that is not viewable by your visitors, but it's tied to what is actually in that photo. And it actually originated as a feature for accessibility. So for people that were visually impaired to be able to understand what photos were on the page, alt text was originally created for that. And now it's become more and more of an image recognition tool. So if you want to get your images in Google image results, which PartySlate has done a lot of work on our platform, alt text is really important, again, as the backside of your photo. And then finally, we get really excited about featured snippets. If you can get your company or your result in a featured snippet, you're very, very likely to get that click through. And a featured snippet is Google, in their algorithms, identified there is such a close match between the search that someone is doing and the content on that page. They actually put it in a box or featured snippet on the first page of the Google search results, almost called position 0. And for example, here we did a really great article on Great Gatsby. We saw there was a lot of search volume around it. We wrote the article. Many of you on the call, we may have featured your work in that article. That has been ranking really high because there's not many other high authority sites that have written articles about Great Gatsby themed parties. You might be sick of that theme. People are searching on it, therefore we are there. And then also, again, luxury wedding venues in Los Angeles, we also got the snippet there. It doesn't mean we're going to get the snippet every time. I wish it stayed that way forever, but there are certain perfect matches that Google finds. And if you end up in that featured snippet, it's pretty amazing. That is
we love featured snippets.
Yes.
And we actually have a question about capitalization before you go on. This is a great question. So bar mitzvah obviously is traditionally capitalized, the B and the M.
Yes.
But for Google, does it matter when you're trying to optimize for keywords? The first thing I would say, I think it just goes back to great content. Like, I think Google should also understand that bar mitzvah is capitalized as a word, and you should really focus on great writing and great content first. Yeah. Julie, I don't know what you would add about that too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe they look at capitalization in their algorithm, but I don't know. I mean, they have 900 factors, so that's something we can follow up on, but I don't believe that's important to focus on. But again, make sure first and foremost that you're following great content strategy. And so if the word should be capitalized, you should make it capitalized. So we always capitalize kind of proper names, and that is one that we do capitalize. Okay, so you and Lauren keep feeding me questions. So again, I could geek out all day. Don't worry, I won't. And my dog may bark in the background. I know you guys can all relate, so I apologize in advance. He's whining. Social signals. Social signals are reinforcements that Google is looking for. And this is a relatively new, I mean, when I say relatively new, the last few years, where your total shares, likes, and kind of overall social media engagement gives Google a clue as to whether you are actually an authoritative source and kind of, I don't want to say legitimate, but it reinforces that you are a good source of content. And so following a great social media strategy, just like we did our Instagram webinar, our digital event last week, posting regularly, creating valuable content, driving engagement. So people are commenting is kind of the holy grail of engagement. So yes, likes are great, but commenting is even better, and shares on Facebook even better. And then also make sure you are sharing your great content and linking back to those important pages. It's another signal to Google that this is valuable content.
So we're getting a couple of questions on featured snippets, which we thought might happen because they're super exciting. I think the first is, just like other Google search results, do featured snippets vary based on where I live, or will some people see different ones?
Yes. I mean, if it's national content, And there is no, it isn't like event planners in New York or things like that. I don't think it impacts it. Again, Lauren, you may know more than I do, but Google always, whenever they can, even if you don't put location, tries to know, is there a location that should be tied to this? So when you say pizza, they're going to think pizza near me. Okay, so that's an example. But if you're putting in Great Gatsby parties, there isn't something intuitive about it's local, a local search. Okay, I have to move my dog. Lauren.
I'll chat about featured snippets. The next question is actually, is a featured snippet a photo or a video or content? And I know that these two screenshots that we pulled are a little bit different. So you can see the first one, Google deemed all of it super valuable, the content, the headlines, the photos. And the second one, they were really impressed by the copy that we wrote. You can see the list of the luxury ballroom venues in Los Angeles got pulled in there. So it just depends. Google can think different things are valuable from different pieces of content.
Yeah. And so the best situation is where they pull photo and content, because anything with photo is going to be clicked on, 10x more than no photo. Sorry, my dog is now comfortable on the couch. Okay, so the next topic, really important to track your success with your content, with all SEO, but with your content SEO especially. Most people I know use Google Analytics to track your organic traffic. Organic traffic and SEO go hand in hand. Obviously, there's other things that impact, but if they can find you, again, organic means not through paid mechanisms, but through a search, that is really kind of the highest achievement of you have really high quality content and they're finding you. You also want to look at your key landing pages and make sure those are optimized for topics and keywords. So you can use Google Search Console, which will actually help you understand on keywords that people are searching or phrases, how you rank against those keywords. And again, I'm not an expert in this tool, but we have a full-time SEO team that day in and night are optimizing our SEO strategy and making sure our pages are ranking. And that's why our organic traffic has doubled since last year. So I'm really proud of this team. But again, on this, we are a digital platform. Don't think that you need to use all these advanced tools. Start with creating great content, great keywords, and look at your organic traffic. But Google Search Console will give you that next level of analytics over Google Analytics to help you understand what's really going on with what percentage of clicks you're getting for those key pages that you're trying to drive through. Once you find something, for example, Great Gatsby, again, it might be an overused theme that people are sick of. People are still searching on it nonetheless. And so when you find something that is working, it's not a bad idea to double down, create a couple more articles. You're an expert on it. This is the time to create. If you can break through on Google on anything that is relevant to your business to attract people to your brand, that is number one for content strategy.
So we have a question about the SEO team, which the SEO team is incredible. Do they support PartySlate premium members, or do they work just on the core platform?
So we can support you on your PartySlate profile. That's actually a good setup for this next slide. So our SEO team works with our customer success team and helps our premium members optimize their profile page. We are not set up to do an SEO optimization of your website because that's a totally different game. That said, we are happy to take a look at your website and give you some suggestions. But on your PartySlate profile, we know exactly how the SEO works on our own platform, and we've built it with SEO in mind. And so here are the kind of three main areas to optimize your SEO, or to SEO optimize your profile page. And again, for our premium members, this is a service that we provide for you. That said, we are happy to give you kind of a 15-minute overview of improvements you can make to your profile at any time. So number one, your company description. I know it's really easy to copy and paste your company description from your website. Take an extra 15 minutes and create something a little bit different than your company description on your website. The reason is Google gets confused when they see duplicate content, and they want to figure out what is the original content and what is the copied content and who should I send people to. We always tell people if you can slightly modify your description on PartySlate and maybe add some additional history or background, that will serve you better for SEO. And we say, I don't want to say like you have to write 10 pages, but the longer, the better. Google's algorithm has changed recently, and they're rewarding more content on the page. And that's why our organic traffic is going up, because our pages, our profile pages, are very content rich with not only photos, but descriptions and all the other information that's on there. So number
Julie,
one,
really quick about company description. So when writing a company description, should you use first person? Should you use the company name? What's most important to Google?
So it doesn't matter to Google as much if it's first or third person, just that it's a rich description and that it has your keywords in there. So the types of events you do, the cities that you're in, anything that can give them a clue to what you do is very helpful to Google. So I, in general, think when you're a 1 to 2 person company or 1 to 3 person company, I actually like the first person description, kind of, telling your story in a very conversational way. If you're a hotel or a venue group or a restaurant, I think it would be maybe acceptable to be more third person. So I don't know, Lauren, what you think about that.
Yeah, I think that a way that I sometimes think about it is when somebody is Googling to try and find your company or find your restaurant or find your hotel, they're using your company name. So it's always good to include it a little bit in your description. But from a storytelling perspective, if you're talking about your business from your own perspective, of course, it makes sense to also use some first person.
Yep. And again, we're happy to look through your company description and give you feedback. When you write your event album titles, and on the next slide, I'm going to talk more about that. Consider, the type of event, the setting, the location. People really search on venue names. So if you're a planner, connecting yourself to all those venues, obviously the credits are incredibly valuable on PartySlate to connect you, but also putting it in the title is not a bad idea. Themes, styles, colors. Any key elements is really important when you're writing your titles and your event descriptions. And then I would say for the video gallery, also think about the descriptive storytelling title. Here's a couple examples of, like, as much as I love Amanda and Chip's wedding, no one is searching for Amanda and Chip. So consider, and again, I know on your websites, many of you organize it by couple. You could even consider, if you'd like to keep the couple's name, that you could put Amanda and Chip : a beautiful rustic fall wedding, blah, blah, blah. Again, Lauren's better at these titles than I am. We do really encourage, mentioning colors, seasonality, specific locations, themes, anything that really helps them understand what the event was all about and maybe linked back to someone that's searching for that type of event. And one exciting thing, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for sharing this, but we are launching more keyword searches on PartySlate in the next quarter. And the more descriptive titles that you have, the more likely your photos will be found in our own Google-like search that will be launched on PartySlate. So that's coming very soon, which I'm very excited about. Many people ask me about, Julie, we're so busy. Do I need to write event descriptions? And here's what I would say. Taking 15 minutes to write an event description, or again, our white glove service, we will write it for you, to set the scene of your event, say a little bit about the decor if you're a caterer, about the menu, and then the experience, again, with those keywords and location and long tail phrases mapped in there, will really, really help. Number one, great content strategy. So like when we link to events from our newsletters and others, when there's an event description, it's just a richer experience than just looking at the photos. But for search and SEO, it's really a best practice to do that. So again, I don't want to overwhelm you that, you have 12 events on your profile and then you have to write 12 event descriptions. So if you're the photographer, you could ask the event planner to, do they have a quick event description? Someone on the team who's kind of the quarterback should have some storytelling related to the event. And it's just so good for SEO and content marketing. Again, those are hand in hand, those two disciplines. Lauren, any questions?
No, Kareem says hi though.
Oh, hi Kareem. So offsite SEO, backlink building. So again, this is another one of those buzzwords that if you think about it, Google is trying to figure out what is the difference between, someone writing a news blog out of some random place that you don't know who they are versus, CNN. So, and New York Times and Wall Street Journal. So when you look for kind of validation that this is good content, Google's algorithm, and this has, been tested, and again, we don't know what the algorithm is, but very much proof saying the more backlinks you have or offsite SEO, the stronger your rank on Google. And so what Google looks for is the more references to your whole site, the higher your domain authority. The more links to individual pages, the higher your page authority is. And so you may ask, and many people have, well, how do I get these links? Here's some things that we do and some things that I know many of you are already doing. But if you have local blogs that you can write content for, then you ask for a link back. When you're published, whether it's on PartySlate or other places, we always link back from the profile page. But again, anyone that writes about you or writes an endorsement, ask for the link back. Third-party profiles, again, I'm on my LinkedIn high, and LinkedIn is so important. Always link back from those profiles back to your own website and continue to post content that links back to those important pages. And then one creative idea that someone on our team came up with is you may work with the same venues and decor companies over and over. You could say to your partner, I'd like to write a testimonial for your website about how great you guys are to work with. You can write that testimonial, which is great for them, and get the link back to your website. So those are just two ideas.
We got one question about asking others to link back to you, and then a ditto on that question. So of those couple, is there one that you would recommend starting with just to try and generate links to start out with?
Yeah, I think the easiest thing to start out with are the testimonials and other link backs to maybe some of the more high profile partners that you work with. It is hard to get link backs from blogs and to be contributors because, to be honest, everyone wants to be paid now. So yeah, of course I'll put that, you can be a contributor, but you need to pay me $500. So it's not as easy to get these link backs from these local blogs because they're all trying to run a business too and make money. And so I think that is more time intensive. But if you are in with some of these bloggers or influencers, you might be surprised. Focus on 5. Create a short list of 5 kind of influencers or blogs or people that work in magazines or publications, and see if you can write a contributor article, a testimonial, something that will get you that link back. I will tell you I would say real press. So for example, we get covered in Crain's Chicago Business. They will not link back. And we ask for the link back many times, but some high profile publications will link. So I don't know, Lauren, if you want to add anything from your perspective.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I think press is obviously a great one, but they won't always do it. There's actually a suggestion phrased as a question, but this is a great one. Does a link on a venue's preferred vendor listing help for this? And it definitely does. That's a great way to leverage your partnerships and people that would organically want to link back to you anyway. So that's a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And on PartySlate, our crediting system, the more credits you have, the more content your content will show up to show how connected you are in the industry. So that we have some professionals that have 80, 90 credits or links. And again, that's a signal to PartySlate that their content is, their company is in high demand and again, very connected in the industry. So Google has that same algorithm where they're looking for these connections. And so I would just, to get the hang of it, I would go for some low-hanging fruit. Of course, you have your third-party profiles. You'll get your link backs there. But I would start with high-profile partners, and then I would create a short list of blogs or popular, like high-authority websites. So high-authority websites have more traffic than your own. That's really what you want. Not all links are not equal. You want the more high authority, the better the link, the higher the quality. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my third topic for SEO. So I talked about content SEO. We talked about really thinking through your backlinks or offsite SEO. The third area, which our tech team gets really excited about, we've actually made some huge progress over the last year on our technical SEO, is really thinking about the whole structure of your code and how your website is set up. And so really the most important things to Google, and not only is this just a nice to have for SEO, it's a need to have. You will actually get penalized by Google if your website is not mobile friendly, so optimized for mobile. So that's one thing you really want to make sure. Some of the templates out there automatically build for mobile, but you really want to make sure your website is mobile optimized. Easy to navigate and simple navigation is really important. In the old days, there was a lot of kind of built-in code and carousels and sliding content. That is not good for Google. I don't see as much as that anymore, but you need really simple, easy to follow navigation. Also, your site needs to load quickly. You need to have your code needs to be structured very simply. And then also on the next page, I'm going to show there's a very easy way to see if you're passing the Pagespeed Insights scan. You can just put your URL in it. It's very, very easy. Extra credit, you want, this is kind of my advanced canonicals, which helps Google understand when you have duplicate content. I think this is more relevant when you have like a retail website and there's like 16 different shirts and 16 different sizes, and Google needs to know, do I need to go to this, 300 different page variations, or do I just need to go to the main page for that shirt? That is more important for companies like PartySlate and other e-commerce sites. And then again, your structured data really helps Google match information and helps them know their bots. Again, this SEO is all about Google's bots going through and link to link to link and indexing your content. If they can't index your content, you will not rank for SEO. So the easy way to see how you're doing, and now I get to brag for my SEO team, who is probably listening in on this call, that we got a score of 99 for our technical SEO. So you put in, and we'll send you guys the link afterwards, this free website, Google Pagespeed Insights. You put in your URL and you see what your score is. And again, I'm not quite sure, like 90 and above is probably, you're doing great. If you're below that, there's some element of your site that is not loading correctly, that does not allow them to pass the speed test. And that's really important, because if you've ever been to a website where it takes like 3 or 4 seconds to load, you're out of there. That's like an eternity on page load time.
So just a quick comment, we're getting a lot of great questions. So Nick, one of our SEO experts, is actually within the chat responding to some directly. So if you don't see your chat show up, it's just because he's better suited to respond to you directly. So we will also follow up after this with the deck if anybody has questions, or you can feel free to email either of us after this is over. Yeah. And then
don't throw any really complicated tech questions at me, because I'm going to get Nick on the call to answer.
Here's one about something that I think you already covered, but we can make it a little more clear. It's about how we get images to show up in Google Images.
Yeah, so using the alt text, but also you still need to have a high authority website. So they're not going to just look at the images. They're going to look at all of these different SEO variables to even see if they should scan your photos to start with. So again, you need solid SEO to start with, but then you also need kind of this alt tag strategy so that they can read what's in the image. Anything else on that?
Sounds great. No, I think we can move on. I think a lot of the questions will be answered in a couple minutes, or we'll follow
I see someone asking about, does your PartySlate badge count as a link back? Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Any of the badges that you use, to link out, is really good. That links back and forth to the site. Your number one goal is to create a great experience that is engaging for people. And so if people are clicking on things in your site and they're engaged, that is a good signal to Google that it's valuable content. It isn't necessarily a link back to you. I will say it is a link back to PartySlate, which is good for us. But what you need is to show that you have valuable content that people are clicking on and finding things they like. If they bounce from your site really quickly, that is a bad signal to Google that your content is not valuable. So, they talk about Google, it's a love-hate relationship for many people. They know a lot of information about how effective your website is. So if you have a very difficult to navigate website and people are bouncing, you're not going to get a lot of ranking on Google. And the one thing I'll say about technical SEO, this was just a very, fast speed overview of the concept. There's probably like 25 different elements of technical SEO. And this is one area where you may need an advisor. I will say we have the best of the best SEO experts that are focused on optimizing the PartySlate profile page. So everything on PartySlate is, again, you saw our 99 score, but that's just a piece of it. We are live and breathe SEO. Of course, we love social media. We love Instagram. We love all these other channels to drive awareness, but SEO is the number one factor driving traffic to our platform. So again, don't need to memorize these words here, but just know that technical SEO, you may want to get an advisor and or let us help you with PartySlate SEO for your profile page. And again, I believe if you have a great content strategy, your site's loading, it's mobile optimized, that is enough for your SEO 101 to get you really in good shape for search optimization. Okay, so I talked a little bit about the 3 elements of SEO. So content SEO, if you focus on one area, content SEO should be number 1. Offsite SEO should be number 2, and then like high level technical SEO, doing your speed test and all these other things should be number 3. If you can do all of them, that's amazing. PartySlate's SEO strategy, I mentioned how important it is for us and how we've doubled our organic traffic over the last year. We do extensive keyword research across not just weddings, but corporate, mitzvah, gala, 50th birthday parties, every large scale event. And again, we love baby showers and other things, and we do get traffic from that, but we're focused on getting clients that have bigger budgets and have bigger events that they're planning. The next thing is we create landing pages for those articles for thousands of high intent topics and keywords, and we call it scaled content. So we have our editorial, but then we also have, again, hundreds and hundreds of pages for people that are planning different events so that they can find us through Google. Lauren's team has been amazing at building backlinks through press, social influencers, guest posts, things like that. This is an area we're definitely going to invest in this year. It is not so easy because it has become a little pay for play with many of these blogs, which I completely understand. But if you have great content, you are going to be linked back to. Also, we, again, with a high score for our technical SEO, we make sure that every single element of technical SEO is optimized so that we get the high scores and we get rewarded by Google. And the last thing we do is we really optimize daily and weekly using Search Console and other Google Analytics tools. The next one we're going to talk about is kind of a preview, and this is where I'm going to actually ask you guys some questions. Do a little bit of real-time research. We have some really exciting SEO-focused projects that are coming up, and we want to hear from you. Many of you have already answered surveys. We're going to be reaching out to more of you, but I'd love just to know in the chat room right now what you're interested in. So we are focused on creating an amazing content-rich SEO-optimized profile page, and we are exploring adding new sections of the profile page so that you get even more content packed in and your keywords are even greater on your page. Some of the things we're thinking about are, in addition to the about and description, meet the team. I know for some of the hotel groups, many people have asked me that, meet the team. Frequently asked questions are really, really great for SEO. So you can actually go in and put your venue name or your company name and see what questions people
And we're back. I think that, Julie, we just had a little bit of a connection problem. Apologies to everybody, but we'll give Julie a second to see if she can get back in and get back loaded up. Julie, are you there? Hopefully we can hear Julie in just a second. Well, I'm making sure that everybody can hear me, and then hopefully I can keep going until Julie can get back in. So I'm just going to test with the team for a second to make sure everybody can hear me. All right, it sounds like I'm good. So hopefully we'll wait for Julie to come back in. But I'm going to keep going, and Julie will be back shortly. This is what happens when everyone's working from home during a global pandemic. So let's keep going. I think that Julie was probably in the middle of actually doing one of our favorite parts of the presentation. We are exploring new ways to optimize our profile pages. So this is to help our pros and our clients and really anybody that wants to benefit from leveraging their PartySlate profile page. So just based on initial early feedback, we're exploring things like a Meet the Team section, FAQs, testimonials and endorsements, which we know are hugely important, multiple cover photos for specifically for our premium members, which we're really excited about, different pricing options, motion graphics, venue tours. So I think what we'd love, just for a couple minutes, and maybe we'll give Julie another 2 minutes to see if she comes back in. If you love any of these ideas in particular, if any stand out to you, we'd love for you to put it in the chat. Because the best way for us to gather data is from all of you and hear what it is that you want from our platform and what you want from our product and marketing team. So feel free to choose any. You can add multiple, add all of them, add one. If anything on this list stands out to you, we'd love to hear it. And then if Julie doesn't come back in.
I'm back in.
Oh, there you go.
I'm sorry. I tried to log back in, but I couldn't get there.
That's okay. So I just gave a preview of this great list of things that we're exploring. And I asked everybody that if any stand out to them, if they could put it in the chat, because it's the best way that we can gather data and gather feedback from our community.
Yeah, so I think the one thing I wanted to share, and I'm going to share my screen really quickly so you can see what I'm talking about. So Lauren, you'll tell me if you can see my screen. Right now, I'm just going to look at, for example, Four Seasons Chicago, just to show a sample profile page. So can you guys see my screen? So this is the profile page. You have a, right now there's only a single cover, so we're considering doing multiple covers. So if you do multiple types of events, that will be more engaging. You can see here the number of albums and photos. This is, again, a premium member, so we have a PartySlate insight about what we love about this venue. There's a nice, rich overview, and as you scroll down, you can see all these great recognitions that they have that you can link out to. And then this is really where we get a lot of the SEO power, the gallery. So again, summer wedding at the Four Seasons Hotel Chicago, all these great descriptions and these events down here. So it's a very rich, content-rich page. And then when you click into an event, the great thing about here is you can have descriptions up here, all your tags and credits, which also give you more power on PartySlate, all your links and connections. This is really, again, an SEO optimized page from beginning to end. And so what we're thinking about adding is, 5 or 6 new areas that even increase your consumer experience and your SEO power and takes that to the next level. So again, what we were talking about and we're excited about is a Meet the Team section. So sometimes your regular websites, it's hard to keep updated for new team members, making it super simple to do that. FAQs, very SEO optimized and friendly. And I know, Lauren, you went through the rest. So if you have any ideas for us, put it in the chat. But also, if you're open to doing a survey when we send you the recording after this, we would love to send you a survey on what's interesting to you as we build out our roadmap. So I believe multiple cover photos is already on the roadmap. That's being built. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. If you don't, obviously don't need to use it. But
we're already getting so many great chats from people with different ideas that clearly are resonating the most with them. So please add your thoughts in the chat, and we're going to take a look and we're going to share them with our product team after this.
Okay, great. And so kind of I'll wrap up here with, and then we'll leave time for more questions, is that nobody knows Google's algorithm. So again, it's not like they publish it and you can go review it. But the experts do have a very good idea at what really shapes the majority of the the algorithm or how you rank. And so this is just one perspective here on what is the most important. So, 10 to 13% for offsite, traffic or offsite optimization, 2 to 5% for social signals, offsite or backlinking, 18 to 21%. Again, no one knows. This technical infrastructure, 12 to 15%, on-site technical, 7 to 10, and then content strategy, 18 to 21. A lot of this ties back to content, like engagements. Remember I said before, you can't really trick Google. If people are clicking and linking and staying on your site, that is a very, very important factor for ranking. That's 20 to 23%. So again, this isn't factual. It's just a hypothesis on how it works. One thing to tell you is that SEO, it's kind of frustrating sometimes for a team. It is always changing. And sometimes they put out this major release where we'll go way up, and then sometimes on a major release we'll go down. And so it is a long game. And that's why I just tell everyone, focus on great content, because Google's, of course, on the technical side as well, you need, but Google's number one goal is to drive people to the right relevant content. I will also say, I'm always impatient, Lauren will tell you, in a positive way, where I want it done, I want the ranking better. That is not how SEO works. It's a long game. So we might be making changes now that doesn't take effect for 3 months, 4 months, or even more. So it's almost like investing in a savings account. Like it builds over time, and it's not going to be a quick fix.
That was one of the questions we actually got earlier that we didn't have a chance to address, is how long does it take? And I think Julie just answered it perfectly, is no one really knows. I think the whole point is to always be putting out great content regularly so that it will pay off over time.
Yeah. And I think another thing to note is that, great content wins, because great content, and again, great content relevant to your business is what really impacts a lot of those different things on the circle right here about their algorithm. So if you have great content with keywords and the ranking, and you're really, your images have alt tags, you structurally have a sound website. And again, I really think the keyword strategy is probably the most important part of putting together an SEO strategy. Is what are those keywords you want to rank for? What are the things your target customers are searching on? And how do you want to be known to Google? That is the biggest part. And that is just content strategy. Plain and simple.
And I think we're getting some questions about resources and courses and certifications, which is a great question. And we actually are going to include a lot of great resources in the strategy document that we can send you if you reach out after the digital event is over.
So we probably have about a list of 20 links that have amazing, amazing content. As you can imagine, SEO companies, SEO platforms are SEO experts themselves. And so they know long form, amazing content will get them noticed. And so it's, to be expected that the SEO industry has some of the best online training and resources of any industry, because that's their business. And so one thing I've noticed as we put these links together for SEO is the SEO experts are creating more long form content. And so recently we have heard from many sources that it used to be 200 or 300 words. And again, not to scare everyone, but 2,000 words on a page is even better. And so you might have a page that's short and sweet about your company, but you could have a list of FAQs, like we're going to add to the profile page. You can think of new content that is below your core content that adds depth to the page and is packed, again, in a strategic way with your keywords and your topics. Any other questions you see coming up?
Just one more that we can do while you're scrolling to the next slide. Is your website most important, or Instagram or other social media when it comes to SEO?
So your website is kind of your home base. So that is really, really important. Instagram is really important for another reason, not for SEO purposes, but from a social media perspective and your connectivity and your engagement there. So Instagram has their own algorithm on how you get your content found on Instagram. So all of these platforms are trying to reward great content and reward making it a great user experience for the people that are on there. So they want to match relevant content to the people that are on those platforms. For social media, it's a completely different mechanism. So you can go back to my recording on Instagram. Completely different strategy, but when you think about it, kind of your hashtag strategy on Instagram is not too dissimilar from your SEO strategy and keywords. So they're related, they're very different. I think you need to do both. I mean, Instagram's key, but Instagram could change their algorithm in a second, and all of a sudden you're not being found on Instagram and you don't have anything else. And so I say, if you're going to put your eggs in a few baskets, not just one basket, I say, again, I know I'm biased towards LinkedIn because there's a lot of reached in, but clearly Instagram's got to be a big part of your strategy, SEO, and then third-party platforms. Yes, it's self-serving for PartySlate, but I will say third-party platforms are part of the equation that Google is looking for on how much content you have. And again, high authority sites like PartySlate, we're going to continue to get more and more traffic, and we are a funnel back to you to drive the traffic back to your website. So you got to do it all. I know I've talked a lot about our digital footprint. You got to think about your website, your SEO, your third-party profiles, and then social media. I would prioritize 2 social media platforms, not 4 or 5. So you have to decide what's right for your business.
All good. Good to go ahead.
Okay, great. So the last slide here before we wrap up is really, I know there's a lot of content, there's a lot of buzzwords, there's a lot of things in this website or this presentation that might be overwhelming, but really just to summarize, there's 3 key areas of search engine optimization that you really need to think about. I put it in order, at least in my perspective for you guys, the order of priority. Number 1 is content SEO. Select topics and long tail keywords that you want to rank for, and then create and optimize your content for those keywords. We are going to give you a template if you're interested on how to create those keywords and resources to get you smarter on this. Number 2, use Google Analytics. And again, if you're more advanced, Search Console to measure the performance, which is really just organic traffic. That's really what you're looking for, and the ranking of those key pages. The third thing is, again, third-party profiles and social signals will be good link backs to your website and to your content. Again, PartySlate, LinkedIn, Instagram. Again, those are, again, I'm biased on PartySlate, but PartySlate is an SEO optimized platform. We've done all this SEO work for you. We live and breathe it. We have 3 full-time SEO people that focus on this night and day. And so this is, again, what our priorities are. And so if we can take a little bit of this off your plate and focus on your SEO optimization of your profile page, we're happy to do that. Not to say that your website is not important, but just note that both will weigh in on your ranking. Number 2, backlink strategy or offsite SEO. Share engaging content. You might want to think about, a new graphic or something to summarize trends in the industry. What are some things that people would link back to as a resource? I know many planners have really great lists of venues that they work with. That could be a great resource that people link back to. So think through what is great content that people can link back to. Write guest posts, maybe even you have a blog that you've already written. You could actually rewrite it a little, make it original content, and pitch it to any of your friends that have blogs or content hubs that you think will be helpful as a link back. Of course, traditional PR, publications like New York Times. Again, it's a long shot, but I have seen you guys share these links. Again, Vogue, others. We aspire to be kind of this amazing platform, the Vogue of event design, but there's many, many other news, publications out there that would be great to get a link back from. The third area, and then the last thing on backlink strategy is those testimonials, low-hanging fruit. You have your friendors, your people you're connected to. We see all these connections on PartySlate, so we know you guys are highly connected in this industry. Offer to add value to one of your partners by writing a testimonial and then get the link back to your website. Again, they might not have a section of their site for that. Maybe they could add a section for testimonials and you link back to each other. The last thing on technical SEO, do a quick Pagespeed Insights check type in your URL, your website address, and see what your score is. The easiest way to improve your score is to take a quick look. Your navigation is really simple. You're mobile friendly. Again, maybe even ask, I've said this before, but ask a friend of yours to look at your website on your mobile phone and have them navigate. Do they get lost? Do they get confused? You don't have to be technical to know, is it a good or bad user experience on mobile? So those are the 3 areas you need to focus on. We have created a template for SEO, and in that template, there's a link of resources, again, about 20 links. And I don't feel like you have to read all of it because there's like 20-page PDFs on SEO that we've put in there. But there is some really, I mean, if you're geeky like me and you like to learn new things, it's really easy to learn this because SEO is really about content strategy. When you take out the technical components, it's really about great marketing, great content, and really being strategic with those topics and keywords that you want to rank for. Lauren, before I end, is there any, I know we're 4 more minutes, any questions?
I think that we are getting some questions about sending this out after, and yes, we're absolutely going to do that. And no, I think if you want to just preview the last steps, we might have time for 1 or 2 more questions if anybody wants to pop.
Okay, so I'll wrap up, and then if we have 2 more minutes, we can stay on and answer questions. But
yep.
As a summary, we are an SEO machine. I would like to say, you know, my 20 years in digital agency world made me an SEO expert. What made me an SEO semi-expert, you know, Nick's on the call saying, Julie, you're not really an expert, but I'd say good enough, is the last 4 years pouring our hearts and souls into PartySlate SEO. I have become, I would say, a content SEO expert, not a technical SEO expert, because of how much we pour into it ourselves. And so because we know so much, we want to share this with the industry. Every week we're doing these digital events. We want to give back to the industry and help you. We will give you the SEO planning template that has all of the resources in there. And then also we will conduct an SEO review of your PartySlate profile and how you can improve it. Again, it's all in the deck, so we'll send that over to you. The last thing I'll say is I'm very excited that I am going to be doing our next digital event on Tuesday with Mindy Weiss. I know many of you on the call know her, celebrity planner out of LA. And again, I think everyone does know her, but she is going to talk about, you know, what to expect, and no one knows, but again, her perspective on what to expect on the first events after the world opens up again. And I know we have a whole movement on Instagram about celebrate soon, which Lauren, you could talk about, but I'm so excited for this industry to open back up. It's not going to be the same right away. We're going to talk about how things are going to be different, and how slowly, hopefully faster rather than slow, we are going to get back to the events industry and world that we all know and love and crave right now.
So first, just one exciting thing, and this is why we do these digital events, is Catherine mentioned that last week's the Instagram digital event was so great. They got verified after the event last week.
That makes me so happy.
We're so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
I think that as far as Celebrate Soon, we've already gotten so many great submissions. So thank you to everybody who's shared on Instagram and created custom posts. The campaign is really meant to help everybody, whether you're part of the event industry or you had a milestone event that got postponed. We've talked to countless brides and mitzvah celebrants who have had to postpone their events, obviously corporate events. We want everybody to think back to happier times and look forward to times that we will be able to celebrate soon together. So it's an Instagram campaign. You'll see it promoted on all of our channels. We encourage everybody to post a photo of theirs about how they'll celebrate soon, who they'll celebrate soon with. And every Friday we pick just a couple, because we've gotten so many great submissions, to repost on our Insta stories. So feel free to share, and we're looking forward to seeing how you all envision celebrating soon.
Well, I know I'm going crazy in my house, and with 3 kids and dog, and oh yeah, my husband too. It's a crazy time for all of us. I am just glad that these digital events reconnect me with so many of these people that I see writing notes here that I love, and forces me to put makeup on once a week. I was on a call earlier today with Adam LaFell. He's like, maybe you want to straighten your hair, Julie. So, I get it. Like, we're not all looking our best, but I just feel connected with all of you guys on the call, and it is tough times. but we are going to make it through stronger. And now is the time to work on your business, not in your business. And maybe that is the silver lining of this, is time to think about, what do you want to be? What's the vision for your brand, for your company? And, our focus is on the digital side, but thinking holistically about your business is a really, really good time to do that. So thank you, guys. And we will get you all of your next steps and the recordings out to you guys. Thank you. I was not so sure we were going to get a big showing for SEO, because it is more of a geeky topic. We had over 350 people register, which makes me really happy that if we can help you just take a little bit of our digital knowledge and help you guys in any way, now is the time to do it. So I know I've said this before, but I love this industry. I am seeing all these people sending us notes. I always get emotional, because I can't wait till we can celebrate soon. And I know we will get there soon. So in the meantime, stay safe. Thank you for joining us, and we will follow up with all of the templates and presentations after. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for your help. And I will give a shout out to Nick and Amanda and Chovy and everyone on the team that helped me look really smart by helping me with these topics and presentations. And I've learned a lot in putting these together. And thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.